Hello, everyone. This is Monkey's Off Table Tools monthly meeting. Our theme of the month this month in Rec Poker is playing against limpers. So I've set up uh, advanced poker training here with fairly weak opponents. I anticipate we're going to see a lot of limping. We're going to have a lot of chances to play against limpers here. So we all, on this very first hand, Javier limped from under the gun, but we don't have anything we want to play with here.
Yeah.
So I think we can pitch this one and press on for bigger and better opportunities.
I'm sold. Let's do it.
Okay. Now it's always tempting, when you get a limper with this kind of a hand, but we're so out of position, it's going to be very hard to play if somebody raises. We're going to have to fold, or we're wasting our big blind limping.
Now, Keith, when you're in a situation not like this, because the position's bad, as you say, but do you tend to be someone who wants to be raising over limpers with a tight value range, or do you like to raise over limpers with more of a sort of balanced, semi-bluffy, blocker-based range? Well, how do you approach it philosophically?
If I'm up against a limper, I'm going to try and get away from bluffing.
Yeah,
because they like to call. That's why they're limping.
Yep.
So bluffing doesn't really make much sense except in very limited circumstances. You can value bet with a lot weaker of a range, though. So I tend to merge my ranges against a player like that. One thing you got to watch out for is the one who limps like this, and then you ISO raise him, and then he comes out with a big 3-bet.
Right. Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, that's the Doyle Brunson trap, limp trap from one of the two Super System books.
Yep.
And it's old school, but it's not great anymore. There's ways to fight it, but you have to keep a player like that in mind. The biggest thing that you can remember is that when he does open raise, that range is capped.
Right. Good point. Good point.
You can play it as such. So he's actually shooting himself in the foot long run.
Yep.
Yeah, he may have caught your ISO raise this time, but you're going to make your money back from him eventually.
Yeah. One more general question for you, Keith. There's this sort of default measure where we're supposed to add 3 big blinds plus 1 for each limper, or 4 big blinds plus 1 for each limper. Do you start with that when you're at a table, or do you I know against some players we have to kind of size up because they're just, like you said, they like to call. We're not actually going to have a lot of fold equity.
Yep.
What's your position on that? How do you start?
In a cash game, it'll be like 4x plus an X for each limper, but in a tournament, it's I tend to go 4x plus 2x for each limper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So against one limper, I'll go 6x, and I'll put an extra X if I'm in the blinds.
Yeah, because you're going to be out of position.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So, and if I got 3 limpers, I'm going at least 10x, maybe 12.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
got
that was the when we had the interview with Split Suit the other day.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that I took out of it, is you really have to kind of, if you want to do it with against multiple limpers, if the goal is to get some folds and to get heads up, you really have to find that pain threshold of whatever the sizing is that's going to get those folds to the table. And sometimes it can be like stupidly high. So you kind of have to start somewhere and find that amount where people are going to start folding. Okay, cool. Thanks for talking me through that.
Yeah. So there's actually different species of limpers.
Right.
You got the limp trapper.
Yeah.
You got the one who's limping because he's tight. He doesn't want to bet. He just wants to call and get out of that hand as cheaply as possible. Then you got the one that is just, he loves calling.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard to get him off of a pot, especially if he connected it with it in any way at all. So
and using advanced poker training, are we going to have any sense of what kind of limpers they are when we see them at the table, or are we just going to have to find out the hard way?
We're going to have to find out the hard way.
Okay.
So we're not going to do it with this hand, but
No, we're not.
but well, you just have to pay attention. So far, Javier limped from
Yep.
under the gun, and then now he limped again. This one limped behind.
Well, he's in
So
the
I don't know. He
big
could.
blind, I think, in this one. Javier's in the
Oh,
big
I'm
blind,
sorry. Yeah, you're right.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
So this
we've
one,
seen him
this
limp.
one open limped from under the gun plus from EP,
Yeah, yeah,
and we don't know what he's doing it with. We don't know which kind he is. We don't know which kind he is either. But we don't have enough cards here in this position to play. I might do it on the button,
yeah.
but not here.
Cool.
The important thing is like when I'm playing online, I mark them green in my HUD. When I am playing live, I'll put limp in all caps in my OneNote app on
Yeah.
my phone, and I'm going to try and get into pots with them
Yeah.
when I have some value. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll even after I see some more evidence, I'll even in all caps I'll write the word value town.
Right. Yep. I
So
think that's smart. I also
Yep.
use green to tag those players
yeah,
online. They're playing wide and passive.
Yep.
That's my green color for sure.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, what it means to me is I've got the green light to play this guy.
I love it.
So all right, well let's pitch this one and
Yep.
go on to the next one. Okay, now he raises.
Yeah.
So we've seen him limp,
Yes.
but
So
we didn't see him limp we didn't see him limp trap. So as far as we know, he's just got a strong hand. Now,
Yep.
what's your take on the strength of this range here? We saw him limp. Does that mean that he's got an even tighter than usual open raising range?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's probably. I mean, it depends. He's definitely open raising with the best part of his range when he's also got a limping range. The question is, does his limping range make up just the bottom of his raising range, or does it also extend even lower into hands that he would fold instead but chooses to limp?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to know, but those are the two kinds of limpers that I think about.
And another question about limpers I always have is he position aware?
Right. Because typically, not all limping players, but a lot of limping players are not going to be particularly studied or thoughtful or savvy when it comes to things like position or fold equity, stuff like that, sizing. So I think we can make some kind of assumptions that they're going to be inelastic to sizing. They're going to have very similar ranges in all positions. They're typically going to be sort of straightforward players post flop. And that won't be true all the time, but that's, if we can make some good assumptions about these players, it does make them easier to play against.
All right. That's good. I forgot what I was going to say. I'll come back right after this video's over.
It always does.
Yeah. So anyway, we don't raise with that under the gun.
No,
So,
let it go.
All right, now we got some cards here.
Hello.
My favorite, Pocket Queens.
Yeah, I know you love Pocket Queens.
Star Trek Starastos. I'm in that support group,
So we're definitely raising here.
Uh-huh.
So what's the sizing that you like? We're going to be out of position with a strong hand that benefits from protection. So it feels like we should be sizing up a bit.
Okay, how much? If like my default sizing here would be 9x. That's 4x plus 2x for every limper plus an X for out of position.
Yep.
But not size aware, not position aware. Can we size it down a little bit to take advantage of this value and hopefully get a call or two and hope that an overcard doesn't flop?
That's a good question. I was thinking like 8 or 9 myself. So it does feel like it's in there because part of the thing is I don't mind if they call if they're the calling type, if they're going to call with a really wide range of hands. I don't mind if they do that to a larger sizing.
Since we're right at the beginning of the session, we don't know how these two are gonna react. This is the first time we've seen either of them limp. Limp behind, I don't give a whole lot of thought to.
Yeah.
I mean that's something that a normal player might do.
Right. Low pocket pair, suited connectors, that kind of stuff.
The open limper is the target.
And I think we can really cap the range of the second limper though, because they'd be raising over with a lot of their good hands.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if they come along, because we're going to be in a really good shape against them.
Mm-hmm. And to get them to come along, we're going to want to size it down just in case Aaron calls.
Yeah.
So maybe more like about 5x.
Feels too low though.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about like 7?
All right, let's go with 7. That's
Just out of
350.
position. I bet they both fold anyway, but that's okay.
Yeah, because we're going to be winning 3.5 big blinds.
Yep.
If they both fold.
Yep, that's a great
which
outcome.
is not a bad outcome for queens.
No, especially out of position.
Yep. So I'm going to raise it to 350. And we lost them both, but we made some blinds.
Yep. And we'll get a sense for what their pain threshold is, so maybe we do size it down to 6 or something next time, and sort of find where that calling number is. But I don't mind winning a pot out of position like that.
All right. So now Javier limped again.
Right.
And this one came along. Oh, Joe Rafter wants in.
Oh, great.
I thought I hit. Oh, here he is. For a minute there, I was worried I hit the wrong button and denied him entry.
Gave him the boot.
The deny button is right next to the admit button.
No. So this is an interesting spot. Like, we're getting really good odds, but and we've got a blocker, so we could choose to raise over here, but it's a garbage hand, and we're going to be out of position. I'm inclined to just let this one go, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah, I don't. One thing I'm learning to do is, even with these odds, those odds aren't going to make up for what we could lose.
Yeah.
This is a reverse implied odds hand all the way.
Yep.
So, I mean, unless we crush this flop, we're going to have to get out, and we're wasting another half blind.
Now, again, we are getting really good odds. I mean, you could say that we're just going to fold every time we don't hit 2 pair or better. But that just doesn't feel like a very disciplined approach to this.
No, that feels like the approach a limper would take.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So,
and we're just going to be dominated so often when we hit a king with it.
Yeah, that's why it's a reverse implied odds hand.
Yep.
Out of position against everyone here.
Yep. They can call us nits, but I'm happy to let it
go. Yeah. I think I would probably let it go even with one limper. Even an one under the gun limper, I'm probably letting this hand go.
Yep.
With no limpers, I'm definitely completing.
Yeah, and the difference between closing the action in the big blind and not closing the action here matters a lot, because especially if you feel like the player to your left is going to play aggressively against other limpers, then when you limp along, you're really inviting them to raise, and now you're just burning that extra half blind, because you could have just folded. And you're definitely not calling a raise here. So
those half blinds will add up.
Sure do.
Yep. All you got to do is look at Poker Tracker to see how little dinks and donks can add up over time.
Yep, you said it.
The coolers even out over the long run. These are what make the difference.
I love that. Great point.
All right, so we'll pitch this one and cheerfully so.
Yep. It's kind of an interesting hand here.
Yeah, we didn't get any limpers or anybody, so
no.
This is a easy raise.
I think so too. Yep.
Yeah. And one thing I've been trying lately, based on the book that we're in the book study with right now.
Yep.
Okay, Joel, we haven't heard you either.
Hi, you can hear me now?
Oh, yes. Hey, yeah. Hey, Joe.
Yep.
Hi.
Yeah. If you're having trouble with your camera, don't sweat it, Joe.
Okay.
Yep. Just chime in. I'm going to turn the chat thing on. I forgot to do that. So
I've got that up too, Keith, so I can look at the chat if that helps. Yeah, Joe, feel free to chime in whenever you like. I know you're a technician when it comes to a lot of this kind of stuff, so we'll appreciate your input, even if we don't get to see that big smiling face of yours in the meantime.
Okay. I just want to check a couple of settings here.
Yeah, take your time, of course. So I guess we it's up to you, Keith. I guess we could play this hand as an open because it's something we would normally do when it folds to us, or we could just fold and continue looking at other hands against limpers. What do you prefer?
Yeah, let's just fold anything that where they don't limp, because
Yep.
our focus here is playing against limpers, and it'll skew my stats on advanced poker training, but
Oh,
I don't really get concerned about that
yeah,
because I do a lot of experimentation. My
yeah.
stats are rubbish anyway. So
Well, that's one of the benefits of using a great tool like advanced poker training is this is a
yep,
place you can come and practice that kind of stuff.
yep. Let's see what happens if I 3-bet with a 100% range.
Right,
This type
right.
of thing.
Yep,
So okay, let's pitch it and just only play against limpers.
love it.
Okay, we're not going to play this one.
Nah.
And in the hijack, I'm thinking not. So I don't know. Okay, there's a limper,
Here we
and
go.
our
So,
blinds just went up. We're in a
ah,
turbo type tournament,
yep.
20-minute blinds. So so now we got a limper with ace jack. Obviously, we're gonna raise.
I think so
The
too.
the stack depths are down to about 50 big blinds.
Oh, good point. Good point.
But I still think even with 50 big blinds, we need to give it a pretty hefty raise,
Yep.
especially considering that we're in the low jack here.
Yeah, with a hand like ace jack offsuit, I really want to get heads up. I'd
Yep.
rather pay a little more and get heads up
Mm-hmm.
than sort of cheat down the sizing a bit and end up going multi-way. It's just not a good hand multi-way.
Yep. So I'm actually looking at my formula: 4x plus 2x for each limper for a bet of 600 here.
Yep. Yeah. I was thinking
Right.
5 or 6. I think those are both perfectly valid.
Even though it's over 10% of our stack, that's okay. You got to take spots. There we go. That
Yep.
was the desired result.
Yep. And we're going to be doing it with a wide enough range that we don't mind just picking up those pots.
Right. All right. We got two early position limpers, and we're in the big blind, small blind folded. So I don't think we raise here.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot because if we check here, we basically hate every flop. We hate flops that have aces on them. We hate flops that don't have aces on them. We,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we if we check here, we're really kind of just going to be playing face up post flop.
Yeah.
I don't think we should have a closed mind to raising here against limpers, but again, I think it's basically a bluff. We're basically turning our hand into a bluff when we do it.
Yep. Against two players who like to call.
Right. Yeah. But again, we've got the ace blocker and they might fold, they might fold a hand like ace 5, ace 6, ace 7. Those are the only hands better than ours that I think that they fold. So yeah, I like to just check and see how this one goes.
Yeah, we can hope that. I mean, we're getting a free flop here.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can. Yeah, like you say, we're not liking any flop except ace 4 or
right. 2, 3
or or a couple of 4s or a couple of aces.
Yeah, Joe says, is check the best option? I think it is too. I think it is too.
Yeah, just because.
What's the worst ace that we are raising over limpers here with then? What are we doing this with? Because we're still raising hands like ace queen, ace jack, ace 10. I don't know. What do you think? Where do we cut off? Where do we stop raising over limpers with our aces?
Ace 9 maybe, because I think that limpers are going to be limping with ace 10 a lot.
Yep.
Some of them I've seen people limp with ace king.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep.
you just don't know.
Yep.
You got to take good notes.
Yes,
with
you
limpers.
gotta when you see people go to showdown. That's a great point, Keith.
Mhm.
Writing down the hands that they limped with. If you can find the bottom of that range, that can be really helpful when you're
Yep.
deciding spots like this.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, let's check and see.
yeah, because like I was saying earlier, I'm not really crazy about bluffing limpers.
And
I don't.
again, you're going to be out of position.
Yep.
You know, it's not even. I'd even like it better if it was like ace four suited. You've got so many other ways to improve post flop. But ace
Yep.
four offsuit just feels like kind of a garbage hand, and I don't mind just
Yeah.
trying to smash the flop with
And we did anything but.
it. Right.
But the thing here is, we could very likely have the best hand. But
Yep.
if one of them has a better ace than us, they're not folding.
Right. Yep. Yep. And
So,
anybody could have a 10 here as well, I think. So
yep.
that doesn't sway towards one player or another.
Yep. There could be a 7.
Yep.
So
I still think the over limper really caps their range.
Yeah.
But even a capped range could have a ton of 10s and 7s in it. And we're not even doing that well against a hand like 8-9 right now either. So I'm just checking here, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, the over limper is betting a little over half pot.
And they should really be doing that a lot here when we both check. I don't
Yeah.
think they have to have a monster here. But I think we just have no real choice but to fold because
Yep.
there are no good flops for a hand like this. It just sucks.
Yep. Oh, we get the same thing again in the small blind. But it folded around. Now, one thing that that the book that we're studying, the Poker Brain, recommends is that you don't even have a raising range here.
Right.
You're small blind completing with almost everything. What you have is a limp fold, a limp call, and a limp raise range.
Yeah, I really like that. I don't do it. I don't play it myself,
Yeah,
but
I haven't either. I'm
I
going
just
to
haven't
start.
had time to get behind it. But I understand the logic behind it, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Also, if you complete here and the big blind checks back, you actually have a big range advantage.
Oh yeah.
Which was something Chris Jones pointed out a couple of months ago in the blind versus blind thing, which I thought
Yeah.
was really interesting. So
Yeah.
I like this as a call.
Yeah. Checking option is the most capped range and no limit hold'em.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
So a call here, huh?
Yeah, we'll be the limper this time.
Oh, look at that. See, that's what we're hoping for.
Wow. That was one of
That's
those
what we're
boards.
hoping for. So now we're going to have to bet.
Yeah.
With this flop, it's actually
Pretty good for their checking range. I mean, like
yeah.
they'd be raising with a lot of you'd think we'd both be raising with a lot of aces and
Yeah.
pairs higher than a 6. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we got to bet at least 100 here. So is it 100? Is it 150?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. If we bet 200, they're going to fold unless they've got
That's
an
right.
ace. We don't want them to fold just yet.
No.
We don't like it if another heart comes in.
No.
But
that's poker.
Yeah.
I guess
All right.
100 feels right.
100 min
Yeah.
bet.
Let's see it.
All right.
Still a pretty good card for us. Like we'd actually
Yeah.
love for them to have like 6-7, right? When we've got ace 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the pot now? 400?
Yeah.
I want to go like 300 here.
All right.
Insta call. Ooh, we didn't want to see that one though.
No. Yeah, our fours just got counterfeited.
Yep. I think this is now a check.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Probably a check call.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. They were drawn to a flush.
Right.
2 limpers.
You
We're
know,
on the button with King
we're raising this
Queen.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get
Looking
frisky.
like about 8x.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a big sizing, but I think it's got a lot of perks to having those big sizing. It makes our opponent's hands easier to range and generates a lot of folds. I
Yeah.
think I probably skew down in my default sizing a little bit from yours, but I think that's in the right neighborhood.
Yeah. These are the same 2 that we had earlier.
Oh yeah, right. And what
So
did we do that? What did we raise that one to? 7 from out of position, 350, right?
yeah.
So that makes me feel like we should do this one to 6 and
Okay.
a half. Like I don't know, eight seems large, but I
Yeah.
believe in your math.
All right. Yeah. 8 would be 1/7 of our stack.
Right, and and it's more than we chose for our out of position spot against these same players. So I feel like it should
Yeah.
be smaller than 8 because, or it
6.
should be smaller than 7 because we picked 7 out of position. Yeah.
Yeah. And King Queen offsuit, we're not in love with. But again, we're against this kind of player, we're looking for overcard, high card value. We're raising the pot up quite a bit. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a low SPR.
Yeah.
So we're looking for high card value more than we're looking for any kind of a draw type thing.
Yeah. That's
We're hoping that they'll draw without price.
is that an argument for actually going up one in the sizing here again, just because it's not balanced, but with this exact hand, like we really want to do lower the SPR.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But with 600, it'll be 18, 1900. So the SPR will be about 2.5.
Yeah. I don't mind
So
getting it. I don't mind getting in with a pair there.
yeah. So 600, 700, thereabouts.
Something like that.
Oh, look at that. We've got all kinds
Ooh.
of action, and we got a flop that we absolutely despise.
Yep. Now, this is an interesting spot because now we've got the nut no pair now. With king queen with an ace on the board.
Yeah.
So we could be ahead a lot. I'm not sure we benefit from betting that much, even though we can rep an ace because we raised over limpers. I guess we'd be trying to get people to fold hands like pocket 6s, pocket 7s,
Mm-hmm.
that we're behind, because we don't mind if they continue with like 10 jack suited and stuff like those other hands because we're ahead of every unpaired hand.
Yep.
So if we were going to bet here, the objective would be to get called by an unpaired hand or to get a pocket pair to fold. An ace isn't folding. Clubs aren't folding. So what's the size that, like, what would you fold pocket 8s to here? That's the question.
Yeah.
If we don't want to make a bet big enough to get pocket 8s to fold, then I don't know if there's a good value in betting here. I'd love to know what Joe thinks about that.
I really don't know. I know Jack 10, as you'd say yourself, Jim, that you're clearing out your equity.
Right. Yep.
Jack 10 could still draw out you, and the ace suits their range. But
right.
I've heard someone saying if we haven't got the ace, someone else has.
That's also true a lot, I think.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I guess if we were heads up, if we were heads up, I like repping the ace better, but with 3 other players in the hand, I think it's likely that one of them has an ace. So
they're not folding. They're if any of them have an ace, they're not folding.
Definitely not.
No. And I think that even in a lot of cases of a lower pocket pair like 8s or something, I don't think that this kind of player, these 2 up here, limpers,
yeah,
they're not folding.
Yeah. this feels like maybe one of those spots where we just got a bad outcome. The ace was like one of the very few cards we didn't want to see on this flop, and we saw the ace, and so we just don't get to kind of print money here in a way that we could have if that came queen 4-3 instead. We're loving life at queen 4-3 or even 10-4-3, but ace 4-3, I think maybe we just have to check and try and hit running clubs or 10 jack or queen king or something like that. I mean, I guess there are still a lot of good turns for us.
Yeah.
But not that good.
Yeah. With this, if we bet here, that falls under the category of bluffing people who love to call.
Yeah. Right. Yep. And we basically have to go runner to make a strong hand here. And I don't think that's going to happen often enough. I mean, I guess we could bet small enough, like Joe says, to kind of clean up the equity a bit. If we bet like a quarter pot, then some of the hands that we're ahead of but still have equity will fold. But I think we're just really building a pot for whoever has the ace in that point.
Yeah.
I think this the more we talk about it, the more it feels like a check and hope to improve spot.
Yeah. There's too many people in here.
Yeah.
You don't bluff people who love to call to begin with, and you don't bluff this many people because somebody's got something that they're not going to want to fold.
Yeah.
So yeah, bluffing in multi-way pots like this is usually not a great idea.
Yeah.
Especially against these kinds of station types.
Yeah.
So I think this is a give up unless something great happens on this turn.
A lot of good turns out there.
Yeah.
10 of clubs. Come on. 10 of clubs. Jack of clubs.
Well,
That
we've
was
got
pretty good
second.
Pretty good one.
Now, yep, he's either got the king or the ace.
If he's got the king, we're ahead.
Yep.
If he's got the ace, obviously we're not loving life. It's a pretty big chunk of our stack here to call.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 25% of our stack to call this.
Do we know anything about this opponent?
We've seen him limp behind twice now. That's it.
Right. Can we ever... No, I was going to say, can we shove? But I think if we had a strong ace, we would have betted on the flop. So I don't think we can rep a strong ace here.
No. No, he might have just been on the on the flop. He might have just been checking in sequence.
Yep.
Because we were the pre-flop aggressor.
Right.
He might have had an ace all along, and
true.
He just checked in sequence. So very good chance he's got some kind of an ace.
Mm-hmm.
And for all we know, he's got ace 4, ace 3.
Right.
Not ace king.
Yeah, I think a king is still a good card for us on the turn, but when we're facing a bet like this, it just doesn't mean that we're like entitled to win the pot.
Right.
Is this too nitty a fold?
What does the advisor say?
Good question.
Fold.
Yeah.
Although the 28 advisors are divided on it. 16
Joe,
say fold and 12 say call.
Joe,
I would have probably called, but it might be spewy. I'd call and then in position, and then he might slow down on the river.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the nice thing about it. Like, I'd actually have preferred to hit like a jack of clubs or a 10 of clubs here, where we can improve to a very, very strong hand. I'd like calling that better, but I think this is probably a mix between calling and folding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not a true limper. All we've seen him do is limp behind.
Right.
So
he limped and called a raise.
Yeah.
But he was getting really good odds to call that raise because the other two players had already called that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And then if we call this, there's going to be less than a pot-sized bet behind. And I don't think we can call a river bet without improving to a king or a queen. That's not going to happen very often.
Yeah. So we're gambling a lot here by calling.
I think so.
So let's fold and peek and see what he had.
Good thinking.
Yeah, see, he was drawing to a flush.
Yep,
He would have hit it too.
you would have hit it.
He
But
would have
that's
hit
a
it, and we wouldn't have believed him because we were blocking it.
Yeah, but that's a good note for that player. You know, like
Yep.
we got a lot of information about that player
Yep.
here.
But now we have to pretend that we didn't
True.
we didn't see that.
That's true.
Yeah. Unless he showed.
And this is a good argument. This is actually a good argument for folding because we were ahead, but we still had a river to come, and he had the kind of hand that, you know, we're just because we're ahead on the turn when we call doesn't mean that we're going to win the hand. Sometimes those draws have a lot of equity against that there. So, yep, well played.
We'll see by how much these bankrolls changed if anybody stayed with him on this hand.
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
that.
I think the straight did. I mean,
Yeah, the pair of the pocket deuces
they
went in
straight
with them.
they hit the straight on the river, so
Mhm.
I get that.
Yep. So that's a cooler for her.
Yep.
He's lucky he got out with his
Yeah, with
pocket
his
eights.
Yeah.
So
All right, well, let's ditch this garbage. We
yeah,
can come
especially with
here with
a raise against somebody we've seen open limp before.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Okay, we're skipping all these.
Right, good point.
Generally gonna with these stations here, I'm not liking the idea of playing this out of position.
No, me neither.
I'd actually be more inclined to open with this in an $1,100 entry tournament than in this $200 entry tournament.
Yeah,
So,
this isn't one you want to go multi-way without a position.
yeah. Okay, yeah, we're down to 25 big blinds for stack depth now. Blinds went up again.
Yep.
And in spite of the blinds going up again, this guy just bet
4x.
almost 20% of his stack.
Yep. See you later.
Yeah. And now he limps.
Aha. Now this, okay. How deep are we here? Yeah, like 24 big blinds or something like that.
Yeah.
You guys tell me how stupid this is. Does anyone like a shove here? We're obviously not getting called by worse, but I think some better hands will fold. And there's 700 chips in the middle already, which would make a nice addition to our stack.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a very good hand, don't get me wrong, but we're basically bluffing with it. I don't think we can raise we can't raise to like 8 big blinds here though, right? Because it's like a third of our stack.
Right. Yeah. So we're and we don't want to just go like 600 either because they're going to get called.
No, that's that Andrew Brokus compromise that I don't think is a good decision.
Yeah.
So we could fold. I think we could overlimp given the stats.
Yeah.
We could overlimp here, purely because of the stack depth, or shove. I think those are our only options: fold, call, or shove.
Yeah. The one detraction with the shove is the deuce.
Yeah.
We're unblocking the calling range.
Yeah.
We're blocking a calling range, which is stronger than an unblock, but our deuce compromises our ace a little bit.
Yeah. And it's just a much, much worse hand than like ace 9 here. You know, if they've got a hand like pocket sixes, it makes a huge difference if you've got ace 2 versus ace 9.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Should we, if we're not shoving, I don't think we can raise, so we have to be calling or folding. What does the bot assistant say?
Fold.
Yeah.
Almost all of them say fold.
Yep.
And it says that we're only raising with the ace jack.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like, do we really want to hit a race?
No, right. Yeah, exactly. There's no good flops. There's no good flops for a hand like this.
No. Multi-way. I mean, we'd have to flop ace deuce or, again, 2-pair better.
Which we did last time with ace 4.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm all about pitching this.
Yeah,
I think again, if it weren't for the 2 limpers, I'm 100% of the time I'm just completing here.
Yep.
Now, old Keith would have raised like 4x
right.
with my blocker.
Yep.
But Matros has a really strong point when he says, instead of just raising, why not have a limp raise range?
All right, well, let's let it go.
Yeah. And this is the effect that limpers have.
Yeah.
They force you to make some folds that you don't like.
Yep. But that's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need a little extra incentive to make those folds, right? A little extra encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not playing as many hands and you're giving yourself less chances to get lucky. And getting lucky is a thing that you need in a tournament.
True.
But it's got to be that way.
Yep, it does.
I think that if we had something like 5-4 suited, I think we could call.
Yep.
But
yeah, it's going to be easier to make decisions post flop. This is just it's just going to be hard to play this post flop. And
yep. All right, so I almost hit call just now. So.
Ugh.
Yeah, again, if they don't limp to us, we're just going to auto fold. And this isn't something we're going to try and play.
No, it's another one of those hands where it's got a blocker, which is good, but it's just not a very good hand.
Yeah. We've still got someone acting behind us.
Yeah. If it was suited, I could consider raising this over limpers, but we got to draw the line somewhere.
Yep.
Let it go.
I think we're going to be playing this one.
Yeah, I think we're going to get this one in.
Yeah.
So let's see we're the effective stack here, I think.
Yep. 22 bigs behind.
Yep.
So
what do you like here?
We could 3-bet without jamming.
Yep. If we go to like 8, we're going to have about a pot size bet left.
Yep. 800?
8 big blinds.
Oh, 8 big blinds is 1,600.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do we want to lose this action with a bet?
I was going to say, so we go like 6.5 or
1,400.
Yeah, it's 14 sounds good. Let's do 14.
Yeah.
Most players go smallish, and it looks so nutty, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I agree with going.
This gives us everything we want.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this hit her range.
Yep. But she's got a lot of 1-pair here. Do you guys like shoving here, or do you like? I don't think we can check because it's too dynamic. It's too wet a board. But do you like betting small and getting it in on every turn that's not like the 10 of hearts or the king of hearts, or do you just like jamming here?
I still don't want to chase away this action.
Okay. So what's the size? What's the size that makes sense?
Maybe a little less than half pot.
Yep.
Again, because of the SPR, we can afford to go smaller. So we could go like 1400 again.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. It's going to be pretty transparent. Like they're going to know we have a hand. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered our size. I don't think.
Yeah.
It didn't hit that Queen Jack. She missed it.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was just you got to try something like that. We were trying to get it all in
Yes.
without jamming like I did against Joe Cotta, which was the biggest mistake I made in that whole tournament in October. So
Yeah.
that would have been the same kind of move.
Well, and listen, sometimes it takes both players having a hand for you to get paid. So there's nothing you can do about that.
Yep.
All right, get this garbage off the screen. Get this
Yeah.
crap out of here.
Okay, he raised instead of limping.
Yeah.
And because of effective stack size, we don't really have implied
Right.
implied odds.
Yeah, no, I think we gotta just let it go.
Yeah. I think if we were at 50 big blinds or more, we called with this. But
Right.
being in, I mean, there is a case to be made for 3-betting here, but that's a hijack raise, not a cutoff raise.
Yep.
What does the Range Trainer Pro have to say about it at 31 big blinds?
31 bigs. Yeah, pull that up.
So, versus single action, 30 bigs, button against a hijack open.
And if people are enjoying the programs that you're seeing up here, Advanced Poker Training and Range Trainer Pro, those are both available. If you go to rec.poker/resources, you can find the links. And I think, Keith, if you use the code Monkie, you get a discount on these, don't you?
Yes.
Check out MONKIE, Monkie for Monkey System.
Yep. Get you a discount on both these apps.
Sweet.
Okay, so
5-6.
5-6 is right here. It says 5% call.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, a call is not wrong.
Right.
But
we're gonna fold.
We're gonna fold because we saw him limp before, so his range is stronger than normal.
Good point. Really good point.
Or did he limp? Yeah, he did. So yeah. And that's another thing with limpers, playing against limpers. When they do raise, pay attention.
Yep.
They're telling you something.
Good point.
So something that's on the cusp of calling or within the cusp of calling, pitch it because his range is stronger.
Really smart.
Okay. Yeah, we're seeing less limps now.
Yeah, less limps is too bad, but that's okay. We're here to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the blinds are at 400.
Right.
So we've got 13 bigs. But
Yep.
you look around and there's only 2 of them that have over 20.
Yeah, good point.
So everybody is in the re-steal zone here.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't think, I mean, actually with these short stacks, you expect to see more limpers.
That's what I was thinking too.
That's another dimension of limping.
Yeah.
When the stacks get short like this, it becomes more logical to limp. Especially in late position.
He's only got 5 big blinds back. I think, do we just shove this with King 7?
Yeah, that's any king.
Yep.
Any king, any ace. I don't know about queens.
Yep.
What does Range Trainer Pro have to say? 5 big blind. I don't think Range Trainer Pro goes down to 5 bigs.
He's got, I think he's got like 6 effective pre-flop.
10 is the most. Yeah, so we don't even have that.
Yeah.
I could have had Snap Shove open, but I you have to pay to be able to bring it up on a computer like this, I think.
Ah.
So
What is the what does advanced poker training advice give us here on this spot? I'm guessing it's a shove.
raised to 960. One of the
Ah.
weaknesses of advanced poker training is they calculate things in purely terms of chip EV,
Oh, okay.
like it's a cash game.
Right.
So, yeah, the raise to 2x or a little more than that against the 5 big blinds
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Right.
If we got a 5 big blind effective stack, that's shove or fold.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Okay. That's 9 in early position.
Right.
And yeah, this is ugh. This one's kind of borderline.
The big blind player covers us, it looks like. So we don't love that.
Yeah. I mean, we could shove over the top and make it more
Yeah, this is
expensive for Julian.
shove or fold are the only options in my mind.
Yeah. And this is so borderline. I think if it was ace 10 suited, we're going for it. But the fact that this came out of under the gun
Although
says a lot.
off a 9 big blind stack, though, I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a bunch of bad aces and kings and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Let's see what they say for 10 big blinds.
Yeah. Single raise pot.
And we have to go with raise first in.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is their range. They're jamming down to ace 4 suited, ace 10 off, and down to 4s. And then what are we doing?
So they got more combos of aces that beat us than aces that we beat. But they've also got a lot of those king high and queen high hands that we're doing well against. But even against those, we're like 60-40.
So I forgot what we're on the button. So
We're on the button, yeah.
button versus early position all in.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
just there.
it's right on the cusp, and that's why we were scratching our heads, struggling with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in a tournament, you got to know what spots to take.
And it depends how close we are to the bubble too.
Yeah.
Is the bubble coming up? Then this probably demotes this to a fold.
Yeah, we're not close to the bubble. This started with 90 players.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I think we're just gonna need to pitch it. And I'm curious to see what she did that with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had her dominated.
Yep.
But we didn't know that until we peaked.
Right.
So
and it just goes to show, that under the gun shove with 9 big blinds, like part of the range that's doing that, they just see the blinds coming and they know they got to make a move here. So it's not always as tight as we might think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're accounting for future game simulation.
Right.
So I think we made a good fold, even though, it's because you make your fold not seeing the opponent's cards.
Yeah, that's right. This will be interesting. Damn it.
Yeah, this.
I guess that's the other thing is we're kind of doing ourselves a disservice by only playing the limped pots, because we'd probably pick up a few pots here otherwise that we might open and steal some blinds, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Anita lost that one. The big blind. Yeah, the big blind has barely a big blind and a half behind.
And they're the kind of player that shoves 9 from under the gun.
Yeah.
So they're coming along, which when we've got 7 high inclines me to actually just fold this more often because we're gonna get called.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not crazy about it. We're covered a little bit by Julian. We got Lacey covered by a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things where you can wait for a better spot.
Yeah.
What does Range Trainer Pro say? We've got about 15.
Yeah. Now, Range Trainer Pro won't know that the big blind only has two and a half bigs. That's the only
Yeah.
issue there. But
Yeah, so we'll be less inclined to shove because we're less incentivized.
yeah.
Cut off.
Yeah, cut off. Yeah, it's right there. It's just not quite on the cut. Yep, makes sense. Let it go.
Yeah. And it would have been a limp 10% of the time.
Good point.
Yeah. That's the thing. The other thing about these solver generated ranges, especially at these lower stack sizes, there's a ton of limping that's recommended. A computer processor can manage that kind of a balancing act. A human,
Not
mere
so much.
mortals like us,
Yeah.
how do you balance? I mean, this is just hard. Now in the cutoff with 15, it is a viable play.
Oh yeah.
But and you notice that it's only jamming with like middle of the road type hands.
Yeah.
Small pairs, small suited aces, middle and offsuit aces, and a few in here just for good measure in the middle here.
Yep.
Aces are getting limped 100% of the time. But this one here, yeah, our instinct to pitch it was because even with that 10%, we got to remember we're less incentivized with this effective stack size here.
Yep. Goodbye. Yeah, and that's just not what we're looking for today.
Yeah. Now this one here, yeah, the advanced poker training here kind of quit limping now that we're short stacked.
Yep.
So, and we're almost to our hour mark anyway.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, we're in your hands, Keith. If you want to call it here,
Yeah.
or if you want to get a few more hands, see if they do any more limping. I think those are both good options.
Yeah. I think this is a limping hand for us actually. We're in the middle position.
Yep. Yeah, half and half.
Half and half limp, half raise.
But no shoves.
King 10 suited is the only shove. How's a mere mortal like us gonna remember that?
King 10 suited out of all those.
Yeah. And then you just got these mixed. It's all mixed.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think if you just remind yourself and remember that everything is mixed, if you can remember that, you don't need to go exact.
That's right.
Because you're a mere mortal. It's not possible for us simians.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
Nicely
so
said.
Let's be a limper just because this is limping month.
Yeah, okay. Let's see how that does for us. All right, we got the button.
Yeah, and then because it was limp, they are free to donk like that, and donk they did. This is a
we got the backdoor flush.
A backdoor nut flush, which is something that you check raise with, but I don't know, with these small stack sizes, Javier's only got 5 big blinds left in his stack.
Yeah.
We just don't have the odds.
Yeah, I'd have to go runner, so.
Yeah. Now the blinds are up to 600.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we're going to see all shoves now at this point.
I think so too.
Yeah, so I guess we can call it, since we kind of strayed away, the simulator kind of strayed away from our theme of the month.
But you set it up perfectly. We fit an
Yep.
hour of hands looking at playing against limpers. So
Yep.
well done, Keith. That was really cool.
Almost
Great
every
question.
hand until we got shallow like this.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Kate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my pleasure. It's fun. What's our theme next month?
In January, it's multi-way pots.
Okay,
That'll be a tricky one to
That's-
study off the table.
yeah, yeah,
but
because
you got a month to figure it out.
I don't think anybody in Rec Poker has Monker solver, have they?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
I know that, and there's a couple other. I know some other solvers are starting to bring multi-way in, but I
Yeah.
don't think it hasn't really reached the mainstream yet.
Yeah, Pio still doesn't have it. Not even on their Pro one.
Yeah.
Now like DTO and stuff like that, that's got some pre-solved stuff, but I kind of wonder about the algorithms they use. What do you
No, but
think?
DTO, that's right. That's the one that I was thinking of. That I think Tim Fritz had mentioned that they were that
Yeah.
they brought that along sometime earlier this year. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think I looked at the price point for that. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something that's worth an investment.
Mm-hmm. Tim swears by it.
Is it, Kate?
Yeah.
How much is it, Kate? What cost is the DTO?
GTO?
DTO, the
DTO multi-way.
DTO? Yeah, I don't remember the exact number. I just remember being struck by how reasonable it was. You know, I was expecting like to see something like well over $1,000 a year or something like that.
Right. Well,
You know what? I think
well,
I think Tim's got a link on his Wrecking Crew page. I'm just going to go check that out now and see.
I have DTO high roller, and it's about
Oh yeah,
could be €35 a month or €400 a year, and then to get multi-way extra is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, the multi-way.
I'm just looking at it right now. Yeah, it is some pre-solved stuff. Looks like $49.99 monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember thinking that's not terrible, and I'll bet they have an annual price of maybe like what 500 or something.
$450. Yeah, real close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That could be interesting, and if people do want to check that out, they should go to rec.poker/Tim Fritz, and you can see Tim's Wrecking Crew page there. There's a link down at the bottom, and if you use the code misclick, you'll actually get 20% off. So that would help. Even if you want to just try it for a month, that would be a good way to dip a toe in.
Does Odin have multi-way?
Oh, good question. I don't know. Kim might know. She likes Odin. Right? So
Yeah.
Chris does too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
But they're using the algorithm with pre-flop or pre-solved things.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's constraints there.
Right.
So
well, January 11th is the next session, Keith. That'll be the second Wednesday of the month, which is when you like to have these. So I'll look forward to seeing you again then, and we can figure out a way to get our heads around some multi-way pots and see what we can learn together.
Yeah, I'll noodle on that for a while to see if I can make any of my tools do that.
Yeah.
So,
or
I know I can't do it with my solver. Range Trainer Pro doesn't support it.
Right.
So
maybe there's some settings in advanced poker training that just like encourages players to get sticky pre-flop. Maybe that would be enough to help.
Yeah, one thing that we could do would be there's an easy. I've never gone to the easy setting.
Right. Yep.
Here in the tools.
Oh yeah, maybe
off table tools. There's an easy setting where it's all family pots.
Yeah. Well, play around with that.
Yeah, I'll play around with it and see what I can set up.
Maybe that's what we should do. Good thinking.
All right. Okay, gentlemen. Well, thanks a lot for coming. And I've got this recording, so I'll send it. Who do I send it to again, Jim?
You can send it to Renz directly, or you can just send it to me, and I'll set it up for processing. through my-
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, and happy holidays, everybody.
You
Yeah,
too.
thanks. See you, Jim. Bye, Jim.
See you guys.